Hey, what's up everyone? Zach D Productions here. So in this video, I am going to go over some songs that I find overplayed from bands that I like, bands that I'm actually a fan of. Now keep in mind this list is in no particular order, so let's go ahead and get started. Now I think the first one I'll get into here is Dream On by Aerosmith. Now I do like Aerosmith. I think they're definitely a great band. But when it comes to what I believe is their most overplayed song, it's gotta be Dream On. Now, I know that some people may argue Sweet Emotion, but I have Dream On this list because maybe it's because I like Sweet Emotion a little bit more. And that's the thing. I think that Aerosmith has had better songs and even better hits than Dream On. Now, with that said, I still do like the song Dream On. I still think it is a very good song, and honestly, probably one of my favorites from Aerosmith's debut album. But I still think it's somewhat overplayed, and even back before I got heavily into Aerosmith, I've always thought it was good but overplayed, so there's that. So Dream On by Aerosmith had to make the list. Now, the next song I'm going to go over here is Paranoid by Black Sabbath. This one's pretty much a no-brainer. I'm sure a lot of people would probably agree with me on this one. Paranoid is a bit overplayed. The title track to, of course, their second album, Paranoid. And Black Sabbath, definitely a legendary band and everything, but yeah, this song is, dare I say, overplayed. I mean, it is a good song, yes, but honestly, I could go without listening to it for a while. I mean, it is a very short song and a very simple song too. And yeah, it's not very complex or anything, but I can understand why it is a hit for Black Sabbath for sure. I mean, it is a classic song for sure that you can't go wrong with, but just because I think it's overplayed doesn't mean that I think it's bad. So that's one of the other things that people need to keep in mind too. So Paranoid by Black Sabbath had to make this list. Now, I think we got to go over an obvious one next, and that is Enter Sandman by Metallica. This is a song that I think would make a lot of people's lists when it comes to bands that people like, that when it comes to a song being overplayed from a band that people like, is basically what I'm trying to say here. I think this song would make a lot of people's lists. Now, Enter Sandman is a very good song, which is, of course, from the Black Album, which is their most commercially successful album, for sure. And, again, like with Paranoid, this is another song that I could go without listening to for a while. I mean, I don't even think it's one of Metallica's best songs, to be honest. Now, I know that some people might say the same thing for Master of Puppets being overplayed, but I think it's another case of, well, I just like that song more. And I do think, just generally speaking, that Enter Sandman is more overplayed than Master of Puppets, I would say. So, Enter Sandman, it's got to be Metallica's most overplayed song, in my opinion. And I'm sure a lot of fans would agree with me on that. Okay, so next we have The Trooper from Iron Maiden. This song is definitely overplayed, maybe Iron Maiden's most overplayed song. You could argue The Number of the Beast is overplayed too, but I don't know. I think I tend to hear this song played a lot more, The Trooper. Now, it is a very good song, which is, of course, from their album Peace of Mind, but yeah, it's not one of Iron Maiden's best tracks, in my opinion. It is a good song, for sure, but one of Iron Maiden's best songs, I'm not so sure about that. And even, again, when it comes to their hits, I think that they've had better hits than The Trooper, so there's that. So when it comes to Iron Maiden, I do believe that The Trooper is their most overplayed song. All right, so the next song on this list, well, this is kind of cheating a little bit because it's actually two songs from the same band, but the next two songs are Crawling and In the End by Linkin Park. Both very good songs for sure, don't get me wrong. They're both great songs from Linkin Park, but especially Crawling, I'd say, is overplayed. So there you have it. And I know that, you could argue that In the End is too. So I I've just decided to add both these songs to the list from Linkin Park. Again, they're very good songs, but I would say they are overplayed. I mean, when it comes to Linkin Park, it's like, why can't they play other songs from Hybrid Theory, like whether it's on the radio or, you know, in posts or something, like just generally speaking, just songs that are played. Like, why don't they play like some of the lesser known songs from Hybrid Theory, like Runaway or Pushing Me Away, or I know it's not really unknown or not that well known, but even Points of Authority, you know, like, why don't they play those songs more, like on like the radio, or, you know, just generally speaking, you know. So again, Crawling and In the End, both very good songs from Linkin Park, but are they overplayed? Yeah, I'd say so. Okay, so I think the last song I'm going to name for this list of overplayed songs from bands that I like, I'm going to go with the Immigrant Song from Led Zeppelin. Now, I believe that this song was in the Thor Ragnarok soundtrack. I believe it was Ragnarok. I know it was one of the Thor movies that this song was in. So when it comes to Immigrant Song, of course, I've known about this song for years, but it's funny because I've never known who it was from. Of course, it's been in so many movies, and, you know, the song has been everywhere. And, you know, for the longest time, you know, I never knew it was from Led Zeppelin. You know, that was, of course, before I became a fan of Led Zeppelin. But yeah, this song is definitely overplayed. And again, like with the other songs on this list, I think it is a good song. But even when it comes to Led Zeppelin 3, which is what this song is from, there's better songs on that album, in my opinion, like Tangerine. Like, I think Tangerine is a really great song from Led Zeppelin. Probably my favorite on Led Zeppelin 3, to be honest. But Immigrant Song, it's a good song, but yeah, it is overplayed, and arguably Led Zeppelin's most overplayed song. Now, you could argue the same thing for Whole Lot of Love or Stairway to Heaven, but I don't know. Again, maybe it's just another case of, well, I like those songs more, but you get the idea. I think a lot of people can be in agreement that Immigrant Song is just a tad overplayed from Led Zeppelin. So there you have it. That is a list of songs that I find overplayed from bands that I actually like. Feel free to let me know what you think. What are some songs that are overplayed from bands that you like? Feel free to let me know in the comments. And what did you think of my choices? Feel free to let me know. So with that said, thank you for watching, take care, and have a good one.